Hey guys, Alex Radcliffe, BoardGameCo over here, and today we are finally talking about Bristol 1350. Now, quick note by the way, when we hit 5,000 subscribers, and you guys are killing it, thank you so much, I really appreciate it, but when we hit 5k subscribers, I'll be doing a giveaway where I'll be randomly selecting, I'll announce the details and how we'll do it, but I'll basically be randomly selecting someone to win a Terraforming Mars big box pledge. Now that specifically is over here, we have Terraforming Mars, which I'll have a video on probably tomorrow. I'll see about that, but we'll be doing a giveaway for a Terraforming Mars big box, this $99 pledge right here. We'll pick a winner, so if you would like Terraforming Mars, then, well, or if you don't, just sell it or trade it or any of that stuff. But in the meantime, let's jump into Bristol 1350. Now, Bristol 1350 is the fourth game by Facade Games by Travis Hancock, and it continues that trend of the Dark City trilogy of some sort of city and year with a dark theme, and Bristol 1350 is the first one that I am personally interested in. Now, this was not on my radar at all because of the fact that the first three weren't games that particularly intrigued me, versus this one, once I looked into it, once I looked into the gameplay, it has one of my favorite things in games, which is traitor aspects, hidden roles or whatnot. And more specifically, something I've talked about in the past, I like that in short games. I am not a huge fan of Battlestar Galactica, even Dark Moon, which is a shorter version of that. I don't love traitor elements in longer games where someone can feel stuck the entire game. Rather, I like traitor mechanisms in short games, in the Resistance, and One Night Ultimate Werewolf, even bluffing and coup, skull. I like those kinds of things in gaming, but I like it in a shorter package so that no one is caught out. And that is what Bristol 1350 is. The short version of the gameplay, and we'll go through the gameplay, we'll go through the pledges, and then I'll talk about, as usual, should you back it? Is it worth it, or should you just be waiting till later? Now, Bristol 1350 is a game that ultimately it takes place in the city. I'm trying to find a good map here. You're going to have these carts, and you're going to have this map of the board, and the different carts will have different characters on the board and in the carts. Each cart will hold multiple characters, and the whole theme of the game comes down to the plague, spreading the plague. Different carts will have people on them who might have the plague, and they can spread them to other players. The winners of the game are the first people in a cart that crosses the finish line, but specifically that crosses the finish line with everyone plague free. So there's an element of a race here, but also an element of trying to spread plague to those that, might, if you have plague, trying to spread it to people so that they can't win, trying to ensure that you are safe, that you are in a safe cart, and or reconfiguring things so that you actually end up safe. This is a fascinating race slash hidden mechanism, hidden role game that looks fairly intriguing. So let's talk about the pledge levels. Pledge levels are pretty simple, actually. We have the $21 standard edition, and then we have the $39 deluxe edition, and then there are a bunch of other pledge levels in terms of adding other games in the series to your pledge. Now, I'm going to focus more on those first two. As usual, you've watched my stuff before, or if you haven't, welcome to the channel, by the way. If you have watched my stuff before, you know how critical I am of standard pledge levels. The standard pledge levels are usually otherwise known as, you can get this cheaper later, why even back it now? Why take that risk? Why tie up your money? Why take a chance on a game, hoping that it'll be as good as you actually want it to be? Versus Deluxe Edition pledge levels are where the conversation begins for me. Deluxe Edition pledge levels are those things that other people can't get later, and so now it's a question. Now there's actually something to actually market off of, meaning later down the road, other people will be able to get Bristol 1350 in retail for likely cheaper than in the Kickstarter. Versus if you get the Deluxe pledge, suddenly, all of a sudden, it's not so clear. Now, don't be wrong, but I should note, the standard edition does come with some stretch goals. It does come with a few extra cards for the game, so I should note that. I shouldn't be as critical, but it's still less of a extra, so to speak. So, the price point on this one is very tricky, because on the one hand, Facade Games, on the one hand, this is their fourth Kickstarter. So on the one hand, we could look at their past Kickstarters for some indication of how things have done. On the other hand, this is their first Kickstarter with a deluxe pledge. This is the first time they're doing some sort of extra deluxe pledge on top of what they normally give for the standard edition, which makes this more of a judgment call that is harder to make. Because if you look at the sale price of their last Kickstarters, they have Bristol 1350, Deadwood 1876, Tortuga 1667, and then Salem. And then if you look at the sale price on those, if you look at the resale price on them, it's not great. Once you factor in shipping, usually people are getting less back than what they paid, or in the range of. It's certainly not a safe back, and the problem with that is getting your money back is usually good enough, but this is a series of games that is decently rated, but not amazingly rated. If you look at the reviews, Deadwood 1876 is a 6.7, Tortuga 1667 is a 7.0, Salem 1692 a 7.0. Nothing wrong with those scores, but certainly nothing to write home about. These are certainly not the kinds of ratings you want to see on a game that you're going to consider an insta-back. Now, if you pay attention to the testimonials they have at first, they have a bunch of these testimonials. I will immediately back every game you guys release in the series. You haven't done anything wrong yet. Great. I will add my name to the people who insta-back whatever Facade Games does. Great. These are a bunch of people who seem to love the series, but the aggregate rating across the series is they are good, they are not great. And you should factor that into your decision of not just whether it'll be good or great for yourself, but also will it be good or great for the general population. Now, the good news here is this is where we can turn to the actual testimonials covering the game itself, because nothing personal, but the overall ratings on these games are not enough for me to insta-back Facade Games, but maybe it is for specific people who like it, but not for me. So if you scroll down to testimonials on this page, the testimonials do seem to be pretty good, and we'll come to the pledge levels and cover what's in the pledge levels. So, testimonials. Let me see if I can scroll faster here because there's a lot of content. If you look at the testimonials here, they are overall pretty good. It's another gem. It plays a trick in you. You can, through teamwork and trust, use. I'm gonna read all these testimonials. It's fantastic, a party game. I was impressed at how easy it was to teach. The gameplay is so unique compared to other games I've played. There's a particular testimonial over here. I've had the fortune of playing Bristol 1350 with as few as 4 and as many as 9. The best compliment I can give is that this is game of social deduction with a hidden traitor mechanism is incredibly engaging within that entire player range. That's excellent, by the way. That is an excellent piece of feedback right there, just that it plays well with different player counts. But at $39, are you getting enough extra that it's worth backing? So, what are you getting for these pledge levels? So if you scroll to over here, the game contents, we have the base game comes with the game, the box, typical Facade Games box, nothing new here. This is their normal format that they go for with their games. 9 character cards, a bunch of remedy cards, linen pouch, symptom cards, 3 miniature cards, rulebook, wood pawns, the rubber playing mat, which folds up nicely in the box, and the 9 custom apple rat dice. If you scroll down to the deluxe edition, you are getting additionally more. So both Kickstarter pledges are getting some extra Kickstarter rules for the game, but the deluxe edition is also getting the Arms mini expansion, the metal coins, the metal carts, and the mini art prints. Which is honestly, this is where it gets a little tough. That seems to be a decent markup for that extra $20. You have some metal coins, you have some metal carts, and yes, it's true. By the way, if you look at metal coins on a typical Kickstarter, those alone will be $20 extra. But the flip side is you usually get a lot more than 6. So those metal carts are nice. The mini expansion could be good. The art prints could be good for the right person. But it's definitely a bit of a toss-up of whether these are worth the extra $20. Now, as far as should you back it, as far as will the value be there, will it be sought after, this was a very hard one for me. I had a hard time deciding for myself both whether I am backing it, as well as whether this is a game that the value is there and it's worth backing. And in the end, I am backing it. But I do think it's a risk, to be clear. Not a big risk. I probably won't be losing tons and tons of money. I might be out $10 extra compared to what I can sell it for, but it certainly is a risk. I'm backing it because, on the one hand, this, unlike their other games, this is already a genre that I tend to like. The testimonials seem to be pretty decent. The fact that, and this is an interesting one, by the way, the fact that it's about the plague, the fact that it's about sickness and spreading sickness is tricky because of the times of COVID-19, obviously, but it also makes it more sought after. Copies of Pandemic are selling out across the board. Our copies of Pandemic have generally been just sold out. As soon as COVID-19 hit, we had them selling out left, right, and center. For some reason, we're not turned off by the idea of playing a game around plague. Rather, it's almost more interesting. This concept that to us was so foreign, that was so removed from our lives, as soon as we had COVID-19 in our lives, suddenly these things carry more weight to us. Playing Pandemic is suddenly more impactful. The idea of spreading disease suddenly holds more meaning. Of course, there's a degree of morbidity attached to it as well now. But overall, these types of games seem to be doing better, not worse, in the atmosphere we're in. Now, to be clear, by the way, Facade Games has been in development on this for 2 years. This is not something they timed to take advantage of that, but rather I do believe this will actually help the resale value, depending on when you get it, of course, and how the market's going to play out. But in a slightly morbid way, COVID-19 might make this a better buy than it normally would be. As far as the risk-reward factor, like I said, their games in general, even at the basic level, aren't selling for so little that you're out a lot of money. And the flip side is, if this game is rated as well as some of the testimonials would seem to have you believe, again, testimonials, grain of salt, it's always easy to find some people who like your game. The goal is to find enough people who like your game. But if this game is as good as it may be made out to believe, then that deluxe pledge level will go for more than its value. So for me, I'm backing it because I'm hedging my bets. I would rather pay $39 now and potentially lose $10 once I factor in the shipping and reselling it later if I don't like it, versus the fact that if it is a game that is well rated, then this could be another secret Hitler situation where the deluxe edition is just going for 2-3 times its value because it's just that hard to get. So this was definitely a hard one for me. I don't have any easy answers on it. I went back and forth a lot on this. I was not going to back it, then I was going to back it, then I was not going to back it. In the end, it's a risk I'm willing to take. It's a small publisher I'm willing to support. It is a degree of FOMO I'm willing to cater to, and I will be backing Bristol 1350. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you found this helpful. Definitely was a slightly harder one for me because of the cost to components ratio, because, I mean, $40 plus the shipping for this could be a lot more, or it could just be a great experience. It's hard to really know. I mean, I just came off of talking about Monumental yesterday, where you are definitely overpaying compared to the gameplay experience you're getting. Good game, but definitely paying a lot more than the gameplay experience it's delivering. As far as what comes next in the week, it's going to be a busy week, like I said. We have Terraforming Mars. It is going to be probably tomorrow. I'll see. I was originally going to do the Monumental review tomorrow, but I'll probably do Terraforming Mars tomorrow. We're going to have Dinosaur 1944. I will probably be pushing it off till next week. The campaign is progressing slower than I thought it would, and there's a few things I want to see develop before I come up with a video on my opinion and all that. And the Age of Atlantis, I will probably be doing a dedicated video on. I haven't decided for sure. For sure it'll be in one of my roundups at the very least, but I will likely be doing a dedicated video. The good news is I have 33 days to go, so plenty of time to get that one to the table. Past that, I'll remind you once again, I will be doing a giveaway at 5,000 subscribers, and for this particular giveaway, we will be doing, what was it called? $99 Terraforming Mars Big Box Pledge, which does mean you guys have to get me to 5K subscribers within the next 16 days, but based on the way you guys have been doing it so far, absolutely killing it. That shouldn't be a problem at all. Like I said, I really appreciate the support. It means the world. It really does. It's the fact that I have an audience is the reason I do this, and I keep saying it, and I'll keep saying it again and again and again. Until next time, I'm Alex. You can subscribe down below. Make sure to subscribe so you know more about the giveaway. I'll be mentioning that briefly in each video until we hit 5K. Past that, comment, like, share. Are you backing Bristol 1350 or yes or no? And at what pledge level? It does look like we have 2,142 backers at the normal pledge level and 5,435 at the deluxe. So definitely more people are favoring that deluxe edition. We'll see how it plays out in the end. Until next time, I'm Alex, and have a good one.